What is going on, everybody? Back with another video. Sixers video, as you can tell. And today, I will be talking about the Sixers' upcoming road trip that starts tonight at 7:30 in Atlanta. Now, the Sixers always seem to struggle in Atlanta, even though they are the worst team in the Eastern Conference. They always seem to struggle. I don't know why that is. We did beat them earlier this year, but it was too close of a game for as good as we are. No Horford tonight. Ben Simmons is probable with an upper respiratory infection. And, the Sixers should win this basketball game, but who knows? Who really knows? We never play good against this team in Atlanta. I don't know what it is. Saturday, we play in Boston, fourth best team in the Eastern Conference, but we have beaten them 3 times this season. And it's really taken we've really flipped the script in this rivalry. We went from not being able to beat them to in the playoffs losing 4 or 5 games, and last year barely beating them at all, losing to them on Christmas Day, to this year, we're 3-0 against them. We have not lost against them. We played 1 game without Horford. We played 1 game without Embiid. We just find ways to beat this Boston Celtics team, and I couldn't be any happier because beating Boston, it puts a lot of confidence in this team. Especially with guys from like Embiid and Simmons who lost to this team in the playoffs, who have lost to this team basically their entire careers. They have always lost to them. And now all of a sudden, you had Horford, you had Richardson, you had Matisse off the bench, you have like Tobias, and now all of a sudden you're beating them constantly. You're constantly beating them. They lose Kyrie in the offseason. They lose Al Horford. They lose Marcus Morris in the offseason. And they're running guys like Tatum more, Jaylen Brown. Kemba's obviously the main superstar on the team. But the main reason why Boston loses to us is because Daniel Tice is their big man. I couldn't tell you who... I can't tell you who their backup is. Grant Williams, maybe. I don't even know who it is. But Boston's main issue this season has been with the big man. And whether they get Kevin Love, whether they get, anybody, like even as decent as Hassan Whiteside. If they get anybody like that, they could be scary in the playoffs. They're still scary. They're still a good, scary team. But they're not better than the Sixers. I mean, we've beaten them 3 times, twice without our big man. So it really only takes one big to stop Boston, it seems like, this season for the Sixers. Ben Simmons, what Embiid dropped 38 points to 1 game against Boston, in Boston, dropped 38. Well, Embiid's back. He played 2 nights ago against Golden State. And Horford is probable to play in Boston. So without Richardson, then what? So now you have 2 bigs going at undersized big men, or just not, like Daniel Tice stinks. He's not good. Cantor, he also stinks. He gets in Embiid's head sometimes, but Embiid's matchup against Cantor is it's not close. And his Cantor is nowhere near Joel Embiid. He's not even near Al Horford. So Saturday in Boston, obviously it's in Boston. It's a rivalry game. They're the 4th best team in the East. It's going to be a good game. 8:30 tip, ABC. But, we'll just have to see what happens. Next game, Monday in Miami. 3rd best team in the Eastern Conference. Now, we have seen Miami once at home, or twice at home, once on the road. We split at home. We blew them out the first time we saw them. The second time, we lost. They have one of the 2 losses that we have at home. And then we lost to them a couple weeks ago, like maybe a month ago. We lost to them on a buzzer beater, basically, kind of. Like, it was a foul that was called. It was not a foul. Al Horford did not touch Jimmy. Jimmy knocks down 2 free throws, and Tobias Harris misses the game-winning three-pointer. But we took the game into overtime with the Ben Simmons, put back off the free throw from Josh Richardson. And, it's a close game. The game that we lost at home was a close game with Miami. So if this ends up being a playoff matchup, whether it's 4-5 or 3-6 or whatever it is, because 2 through 6 is really close in rankings in the standings. It's Toronto. They're only 2.5 up from us, who's in the sixth seed. Then it's Miami, Boston, Indiana, us. Those are the 5 teams that are 2 through 6. I think the Sixers will get it together, and I do think they will finish 2 or 3. Definitely. I don't think they finish under Indiana, and I don't think they finish under Boston. I can see us finishing under Toronto, and maybe I can see us finishing under Miami. Toronto's a very good home team, and they absolutely kill us every time we play them. I don't know what it is about that team, but I would much rather play a team like Boston, a team like Miami, than a team like Toronto, because they have our number. They've had our number for years. We've won 1 game in the last, 16 games in Toronto, and it came last year in the playoffs, and then we all know what happened, with the quadruple doink, and, they go on to win the championship. And, the Sixers might have been only 4 bounces away from winning an NBA title. But we'll never know, because Kawhi Leonard hit the shot. Kawhi's no longer there, and they still have our number. Even without Embiid, even with Embiid, they have our number. I don't know what it is, but they have our number, especially in Toronto. The big game that everybody is probably circling, because this is a potential Eastern Conference Finals matchup. Sixers in Milwaukee. Obviously, the Bucks are the first seed in the league, they are number 1 in the league. They're number 1 in the East. But the last time we played, we ran them. We ran them out of the gym. Embiid, Horford, Richardson, Simmons, Tobias. They are just too long for that Milwaukee team. And you could say, oh well, the Sixers were home. Well, if Milwaukee is so good, then they should be able to beat us wherever we play. Because in a playoff series, it's not one and done. You don't play in Milwaukee 1 game and you're done the next. You play a series. So you're going to tell me if the Sixers win 1 game in Milwaukee that they're automatically, favored to win? No, that's not how it works. It's a series. There's many series of events that happen in a series that could change the outcome any way possible. An injury. Not even saying that. A shot. A game. Like, we were up by 20 points. Game 5 in the semifinals, and we lost. We win that game. Was it? No, game 4. If we win game 4 in the semifinals, we win that series. We don't lose because we won game 6 to send it into game 7. But we win that series if we win game 4. If the Sixers capitalize at home and win every game, they should definitely be able to win a playoff series easily. If they win every game at home, they will win every playoff series. The Sixers are currently tied for 5th, but they are in the 6th seed because of the season series matchup against Indiana, which the Pacers are currently winning. They are 31-17 so far this season. 2.5 games out of 2nd place, like I've said. But the difference between the Sixers and the Bucks and the Celtics and the Raptors, the Sixers, this was ranked by the NBA. The Sixers have had the second hardest schedule of all teams in the NBA up to this moment. The second half of the season, the Sixers have the easiest schedule in the NBA. So anything can happen. Anything can really happen. That's it for this video. I just wanted to get my point across on this road stand. I think the Sixers will go 2-2. I think we lose Boston, we beat Miami, we beat Atlanta, and I think the Bucks are just too good of a team to lose at home. So I say especially to lose twice to us. So I say we lose to Milwaukee, we lose to Boston, and we beat Miami, we beat Atlanta. That's it for this video. Like, share, comment, subscribe. I'm out. Peace.